Drini versus Gucci. This is going to be the quarterfinal matchup in the MCS kickoff event, and this is one of the games that they actually gave us where you should watch the full game for the most part. So, going to go ahead and get into this breakdown. Now, coming into this game, really, Drini has been the model of consistency really throughout his entire Madden career, and Gucci is kind of the guy that disappeared after Madden 21 and made alive in Madden 23. Really was nowhere to be found in Madden 24 and Madden 25, but he's back here in Madden 26, and going to be a lot to really break down here. A couple things here. Gucci's going to be in the Commanders uniforms. Drini going to be in the Broncos uniforms, and this is going to be kind of an interesting matchup. And Drini is also going to be doing some interesting things on the defensive side of the ball. As you notice here, he is actually in 3-3 Cub, which we've literally not seen all season long. And it's going to be kind of a defense that we're going to be really looking at to see if there's any kind of pressure, see what he's doing out of it. One of the things I know about 3-3 Cub is generally speaking, you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5-man pressure. This can be probably the best or at least a top tier run defense in the game, has match coverage in it. Another thing that Drini is doing is his safeties are actually pretty far back. If you take a look here, they're about 15 yards off the ball, which is significant. Normally you're seeing that people are putting their safeties on close and pinch, which would put their safeties kind of about right in this area. So kind of interesting that Drini opts to put him more back off the ball. And then the other thing is Gucci comes in this matchup. I believe he's in Jags playbook. Going to be running more of a meta, kind of standard meta offense. Drini is going to kind of run like a meta off meta in the sense like he's going to do some things that are a little bit unique. So always good to watch him play. Drini known more as a defensive player. Gucci, more of an offense player, so we'll see how this kind of matchup goes. So as you see here, this is a big issue in this game. If you notice, this tight end is on like a corner, and because he's on a vertical route, he's going to chip this blitzing linebacker here. So here, Drini does send 4 people, 1, 2, 3, 4, but one of his blitzers is, chipped completely, as you see here. And you're going to see streak, slant, return route, swing pass, in route, kind of a very standard smash return setup. And Gucci going to go for the seam streak right off rip, able to hit it, able to rack right out of there. It's actually a really tight window to be able to hit that consistently. Really good read there from Gucci on his first possession. And getting a quick score is always nice, especially on your first possession and really his first live event since Madden 23, I believe. So kind of a lot to be happy about if you're Gucci here. Drini, I'm not 100% sure which playbook. Last time we saw him in a comp setting in Madden 26, he was in a Packers playbook, primarily basing out of the cluster. The Packers playbook does have a lot of really good stuff this year. It has both cluster formations, but it also has the wild trio close, which is really, really, really popular. A lot of people like that. I believe it also has a bunch strong nasty, I want to say. But a lot of good things in the Packers playbook. Again, kind of a meta off meta. If he is in that, we'll take a look on this drive and see. Gucci is going to be in your standard double mug meta. I believe that Gucci, at least I think, labs with Henry and is going to be doing a lot of similar things that you would see Henry do. One of the things that Gucci is going, and here we'll take a look just real briefly here. As you notice, this little formation here, this is the pack trip. So this tells me Drini is 100% in the Packers playbook. You have this bunch tight end with an RPO in it. You have bunch strong nasty. This bunch strong nasty has a really unique auto motion play. And then you have both clusters. What's really nice about the cluster is it has this fast table route right here. It also has a sharp cutting corner. And then really, I think the big winner for this one is it has that wild trio close, which everybody likes. So really, pretty much standard, right? We've seen kind of this meta evolve into a point where wild trio close seems to be the most popular, best passing formation in the game. And people are basically putting other formations around that. Do you want bunch X nasty? Do you want cluster? Do you want cluster strong? Do you want bunch strong nasty? Do you want bunch tight end? Do you want trips tight end? What are the formations you want around it is really kind of the main question for Drini. He's going to go with this Packers playbook and probably primarily be in this cluster formation. He loves this cluster, ran it a lot in college football as well. But one of the things that is really important to just touch on real quick is Gucci's defense. So as you see here, he spread his D line. He's spreading his linebackers here. He's going to flip with Drini, as you see Drini flipping. Real quick sidebar on that. Pretty much every single time in these comp settings, you're going to see a consistent amount of audibling or flipping. One of the major reasons for that is, number one, it can misalign defenses. As you see there, Drini has to flip his, or Gucci has to flip his defense to get his nickel corner back in the right position. And then another big reason for this is because it actually gives you unlimited hot routes, allowing you to snap the ball and kind of play the game in a much more fluid fashion. Also, real quick, if you guys are looking to take your Madden or college football game to the next level, and you guys want to learn every single thing that I know about both Madden and college football, sign up for our school community today for just $10. That link is going to be in the description. It gets you access to all of my full schemes for Madden and college football. All the schemes you see me break down here are broken down even more in detail and even more specifically in our school membership. So if you're not a member yet, that link is in the description below. But as you see here, he's going to move this nickel corner over, and the meta pass protection for this Texas foreman. So he's in this double A gap, and he basically has a couple of different ways to send pressure. The first way is he's going to send 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, maybe zone out. He can really zone out either one of these two guys here. He can't zone them both out, but he can zone out one of them. So you can get a send 4 or send 5 from here. And then the other blitz he's going to have, where he's actually going to engage his user here over the center. Another way he's going to get pressure is he's going to Texas four-man stunt, just like this. Now, you saw Drini set a pass protection for that. He double-teamed this defensive end. That's the best way to block the Texas four-man stunt. And then the other main way in which you're going to see that he is going to send pressure is he's going to just basically send a basic send 4. And that basic send 4 is going to do a really good job of, to a degree, handling, scrambling, and really trying to counter the pass protection that way. So anyway, as you see, that's the pass protection, double team that left screen to the end. And here you're going to see right out of the gate, Gucci's actually going to go with a send 3. Now, what's really interesting is he decides to send 3, but he sends 2 off of the backside of the quarterback, Michael Vick being left-handed. What you kind of anticipate here is he's going to roll out. But if you look at this defensive end, Gucci decides that he's going to put this defensive end in a hard flat. So he's going to guard the flat, but it'll also kind of serve as like a contain, if you will, when Drini decides to roll out. So as you see here, see how Drini's getting out of the pocket. He's floating here to the left side, and there's this air truck, and now he's going to try to spin, basically scramble right in this gap. Notice this flat defender. Gucci's going to see that, and the whole purpose of the flat defender is to contain that, but he's not going to send that spy, and it's kind of delayed, and it's just kind of not that effective, to be honest. And you see that Drini's able to get basically 15 free yards just because Gucci cannot keep him in the pocket with that type of defense. Even though you have the flat on the field, the flat is not going to do a good enough job. Here you're going to see some unique audibles from Drini. Here he goes to trips, wild trips. And this wide trips has a unique flat route to the running back. So you're going to see this flat route right here. And then on this backside, what it appears to me is a streak, a C route, a flat route, and then a drag backside flat. So working kind of a high low to the right. Here he's going to throw right at Gucci's user. Gucci's user is not going to animate. It was a really nice switch stick trying to guard that flat pass. Drini able to kind of get some, again, free-ish yardage right there. And he's going to be able to get up into a second and inch situation. See both players kind of laughing about it. Kind of a standard thing that happens in this game. But what you're going to see now in a second and inches situation, another thing you're noticing here, hopefully, is that he goes to short side trips. Now, what most passers like to do is they like to have these kind of formations like this, especially this kind of section of formations normally is going to be over here, and you would have your 3 receivers to the left. So what this communicates to Gucci is, why would you come out in short side trips? Most people are going to want to be in wide side trips. The reason why Drini comes out in short side trips is because Michael Vick is going to be he's left-handed. And what happens in Madden, this is a big, big, big tip that can help you in really any year of Madden and really with any team or scheme. When you are in a formation like a bunch, a wide trips, a trips tight end, really anything that doesn't have the word offset in it, and it's a shotgun. So shotgun, a slot, this is going to work. Shotgun A slot offset, this would not apply. But when the formation does not have the word offset in it, and it's a standard formation, what offset basically means is that the running back would be offset and he would be back here. But in a standard formation, as you see, he is right next horizontally to the quarterback. When you have this right here, what's going to happen is that the quarterback is going to get a faster handoff animation if the running back is on the side of the quarterback's throwing hand. So in this case, Drini wants to run the ball because it's 2nd and inches, and so he's trying to just get the first down, keep the chains moving here. And so he's going to use a rundown. This is kind of just a standard rundown, right? Keeps him off 3rd down. So the reason why he wants to run short side is he's going to run base here, and he's going to get a faster handoff animation because the running back's on the throwing hand of Michael Vick. He's on that side. Whereas if he was to put the trips this way and the back was over here, this would be a much slower handoff animation. So that's the purpose behind running this in the short side. It is a little bit of a dead giveaway to Gucci that he's running the ball, but Gucci not able to get in there, not able to play good run defense, and Drini is going to do a good job of being able to get a couple yards there and get a first down. So again, drive, continue, move. So now you see here, and this is also another little bit of a tell because this is something really interesting. So because flipping is such a big deal in this game, you see somebody comes out and like cluster to the short side. You pretty much with about 99% guarantee know that when they audible, they're actually going to flip the play, and this is going to go. However, let's say that Drini came out with cluster flipped. So he had his cluster to the wide side. So let's say you had your 3 receivers to the wide side and this guy right here. Then when you would audible, let's say you audible, you would know that he's planning to audible out of cluster and go to a different formation that is already set up to the wide side of the field. So again, just some little things that I think could honestly make a big difference. One tendency breaker you could do is you could flip and then audible into another formation. You could have short side combos. You could run the ball. There's all kinds of different ways to break that tendency. But, and then this right here is a really important thing to talk about real quick. So you see Drini setting up protection. He sets up his Texas 4-man protection, but he also knows that Gucci wants to run this engage blitz. So what Drini decides to do is he untargets this user, meaning Drini tells his offensive line, if this guy blitzes, do not block him. And that's exactly what happens, as you see here. Now, what Gucci does a really good job of is he realizes that, and he actually continues to just basically use a rush, and then he gets blocked at the very end there, and Drini's able to kind of scramble out of what could have been a very bad situation for him. But that's not really like a glitch blitz, so to speak. That's Drini telling his offensive line to untarget the user defender because he knows that Gucci wants to just basically use his user defender to free up another blitzer. So anywho, back to a send 3. Now notice this time he sends 3, but he sends 3 with the 2 players on the left side of the quarterback. And then Drini goes into this wild trips. This is a really, really cool little play. This is stick and nod, and he's going to have his tight end on like a slant or post. He's going to have that return route, the clear out route, and then whatever he has that solo wide receiver on. So, yeah, as you see here, he actually goes with a post or something there, but basically kind of smash return style play. Here's the send 3. Notice that Drini stays in the pocket. He doesn't scramble out, and he's going to try to force feed this streak. Goes up, and Ag catches it, but Gucci is able to get a KO. That Ag catch has been something that you've been seeing really since college football. And here we see that audible to wild trip close. So remember, I talked about it a second ago. You see how Drini comes out in wide side cluster? See this real quick? This is how you kind of know he's planning to audible to another formation because he wouldn't flip his cluster into short side. So these are just like little tendencies that are helpful when you're putting your defensive game plan together. Like if I comes out of this, I know I'm not going to get flipped. I know I'm just setting up defense for the side of the field, basically. So anyway, there you see, again, another untarget of the user. Now here's the chess match. So Drini untargets this user, and he knows that last time Gucci just used a rush basically like this. So as you see, he used the rushes again. And the other thing that Gucci does is when Gucci sends 5, for the most part, he is going to typically man cover, man up basically. So by sending this user, there's no rat in the hole, no robber over the middle of the field to be able to take a crosser. And so Drini does a really good job of under pressure, right? Pressure right in the face, able to just hit the wide open player, throws, gets a great rat catch out of that, great passing accuracy, and he's able to get a touchdown, even though Gucci got basically instant pressure. Drini chooses to basically dot the blitz and does a really good job of that. And that's going to get him on the board for his first touchdown of the game. And a lot of things were kind of shown within that first drive of kind of how this game is going to go, the back and forth of the blitz versus the coverage, the contain of the mobile quarterback, all these little factors that really play in these big games. I don't know how much exactly that this game is for, but I know it's multiple thousands of dollars. And so obviously a lot of stakes on this game. Both players trying their best to win this game. This is also one of the big things about these tournaments is based off of kind of how they perform in these tournaments. They get more or less points for Madden Bowl or the MCS playoffs. And I believe a berth in Madden Bowl or MCS playoffs is a significant amount of money. I don't remember exactly what it is. I want to say it's like $30,000, even if you just get in. At least that's what it's been over the last couple of years. So obviously, you're going to see them play their very best, give everything they have to try to win here. Now, Drini does something interesting here that really we also haven't seen really this defense, honestly. He goes to dime normal. At least I think this is dime normal. Here you see the safeties are now back down lower than they were in the Cub. And he has two slot corners, which is going to put him in that kind of dime normal type of formation. So here you see on first down, he just opts for this table route. One thing I was going to show you on this play here is I just think it's really, really important to understand like the routes that they're looking for when people are looking at schemes. Let's see if he shows us the play art. Perfect. So what you see here is Gucci literally hot routes every single route on the play except for one route. The only route on the play that Gucci does not hot route here is this route right here. This is spacing switch out of Bunch X Nasty. This is what is considered a good table route. It's the same similar table route to what Drini has out of the cluster. This table route is not, if you think about the hot routed table route, like imagine this was the running back here. The hot routed table route, it runs down and then it goes out. Whereas this one just kind of like almost slants sideways. It's going to run significantly faster. The reason this is important is because let's say Gucci here is playing Drini. Let's say Drini has like a cover two with a vert hook here, something like this, and then his users in the middle. These are kind of standard coverages. So what you're looking for here is that this running back route is going to pull any flat to him quick. So whichever defender's on the flat, like he's going to pull him there, but he's going to be so fast that it's actually going to open up a throwing lane right in this little alleyway here for this route. And then this is what I call a good Madden route combo. You typically will have a clear out, like a streak or a slot fade. You have a high point read, which is this post. And then you have a low read, which is actually going to be this drag. And then you have what I call an outlet or alternate receiver, which is basically just your check down or your backside player. Now, the primary purpose of the running back is really to clear space for the tight end drag and also to give you kind of a quick like blitz beating type of route. So as you see here, Drini goes to this stunt. Now he goes with a stunt that you really haven't seen a lot. He goes with a Tom stunt where he basically is looping his D tackle. It's very similar to like 146 or Dollar, the looping. In my opinion, it's much worse. It's just not that consistent, to be honest. But he goes with it here, and you see the cover two. And so that's the other great part about that flat route is that flat route is able to attack the flat quickly. And really the only way to stop that route is to utilize a hard flat. So you kind of force Drini into a specific coverage that then is going to have other openings and vulnerabilities that you can then take advantage of. And Gucci goes back to smash return, and he does a really good job of actually getting to his fifth read on the play. We didn't talk about the actual route combo yet. Let me just show it to you real quick. And it looks like he's going to actually show it to us here. I just want you to see. So you see here, flips it, and then he's going to show the combo here. So as you can see, Gucci uses a clear out streak. He has what I call a high read, which is this one right here. He has a low read across, which is going to be the slant which can kind of be thrown like right here. And then he has that alternate read, which is going to be thrown right here. So essentially, this concept is creating a high-low in the middle of the field is really good whenever you don't have a lot of yellow zones. But notice here, Gucci has this little swing route to the running back. What that's going to do is, let's say you have a hard flat here. This hard flat will go super low, and it will open this window to throw the slant. But Drini does not have, as you see, if you watch this defender, see how Drini switches here, and he's actually going to go play the tight end. So you see there, he goes and plays the tight end. At this point, Gucci's probably looking here, but he notices the flat is gone, and so he has all this real estate to be able to hit this running back route. It's actually a great read by Gucci. Could have worked out a little bit better than it honestly did. He kind of got a bad animation because the swing kind of stopped running. He honestly was a little late to get into that route, but it was his last read because he's going, slant to streak to in to return route, and then late he's coming back to that swing. So some of that's just how you read the play. But anywho, going to the play motion halfback choice, he's going to stem this route all the way down, and you're going to see it's going to run basically like a really unique arrow route. And then you're going to have this little return route on the left side with the flat. And so as you can see here, this seam streak, really good job of popping cover two or really any defense there. Honestly, Gucci kind of missed it, but able to take that return route underneath for some easy yardage here. For the most part, pretty clean game so far between these two guys. Wide side bunch, X Nasty. And now see here, this is a tendency breaker. He goes from wide side bunch, X Nasty, flipping into short side, trying to get a little cover two beater going, not able to get it, having to scramble out of there with Vic, and he ends up throwing the ball away. Kind of, again, those what I'm talking about, like having those short side combos just to kind of, like I said, break tendency. I call them straight plays. But here you're going to see kind of back to the standard, right? Wide side bunch into wide side trio. And here's that wild trio close. Texas, running back Texas, or drag, running back Texas crosser combination. And he's able to hit that for a pretty nice little gain. That's going to bring up a 1st and 10 on the 37. And you see here, short side bunch, flip into wide side bunch, motion corner under. It's one of my favorite plays for beating man. Take a look at how Gucci is going to set this play up. I actually don't love this, but his play, whatever. Normally what you see is you see like a drag, a table, a return, and then the concept here. But what Gucci does here is he kind of attacks the same area by using this running back in route as his drag. And then this route's kind of an interesting one, like a super deep in route, kind of an interesting read. We'll see how this all plays out. But basically as a backside levels concept. So you see here, clear out slot fade. There's the high read, which is the corner. And then this running back route, which is going to come underneath of it. So as you see here, running back route comes underneath of it, scrambling to the left side. And Gucci's just going to check it down to the running back right there. Pretty good defensive play by Drini, able to take kind of the big route away and force the check down within that. So that's going to bring up a 2nd and 5 on the 33. And notice that Drini is back in this nickel 3-3 cub with the safeties deep. See what he's doing here defensively. And that was a little 3-man pressure off of the right side, which you really haven't seen. He almost used like the tight end chip to his advantage as far as that goes. 3-3 cub is also known historically as one of the better ways to defend the rollout year to year. So that could be part of it, is that it might have good rollout D. He's pretty much only blitzing off the tight end side, which is really interesting because most people are specifically not blitzing off the tight end side due to the fact that it's just so inconsistent to get pressure. So we'll kind of monitor this 3-3 and see how the pressure is going to go for him. You see in here, Gucci is going to set up a little bit of pass pro. He slid to the left there. Kind of starting to see the tendency of Drini to blitz only off the tight end. Then he counters that with the slide to the left side. Now we have a 1st and goal. We'll see red zone opportunity for Gucci. Probably going to go to trips tight end here, I would assume. That's kind of been the standard if you're a Jags playbook user. Typically you see here. So he's kind of, to a degree, short side bunch. Audible and into trips tight end. Quarterback zone. Some people like the quarterback zone. Henry really runs a lot more quarterback power. Drini's in 3-4 odd, and he's not going to be able to stop it. Gucci able to get an easy touchdown down there in the red zone. If every red zone drive went like that, you would see a lot higher scoring ball games. But really good red zone possession for Gucci. And really been, again, kind of a fairly straightforward game so far. We'll see what Drini's able to do offensively. Drini is going to get the ball, I think, at half, which is really, really helpful for him. Another thing real quick as far as playbooks go, I do believe Gucci is in the Jags playbook, I would say. He has that nickel wide in his arsenal. He also has the 4-2-5 over G. Probably has dollar as well. But he's pretty much staying in this double mug for the most part so far. And that'll be the end of the first quarter. A little scramble from Vic there. We'll see what Drew's able to do. Now, to a degree, clock starts to begin to become a factor because these end-of-half scenarios are so important for being able to just maximize the possession battle. And we'll see how Drew ends up choosing and opting to play for it. Here's a run. There's that fast handoff animation to Saquon, and you get that inside zone there. So you see Drini goes to a run on second down right there, probably to just get the clock moving, I would think. But he's going to this wide trips quite a bit. And here's the combo. He actually uses a crosser and a drag, and then he blocks running back. So essentially what do you have here? You have a clear out, you have a low read, you have a high read, and then you have a alternate or check down read. So streak to drag. Now we're over here to these two reads, and he's getting screamed at. Gonna try to truck away from it, but not able to. Hopefully they patch that truck thing. I think it looks ridiculous when you see a quarterback trucking the air to get a speed boost. I actually preferred the look of the juke move in the backfield to get that. But anywho, nice switch stick onto the corner. Nice read by Drini, able to get it to him quickly. And we really haven't seen a ton of cluster from Drini. He goes into what? Now here we go again. Short side wild trio. Now here's the main tendency breaker. So short side wild trio, short side cluster, short side bunch. One of the best reasons to do this is if someone is cover two in the bunch side. You have a streak and a slot fade. Really, really good against cover two situations. We'll see what Gucci does here. On defense. Let's see here. So you see on the right, pretty straightforward man coverage. Return route going to be there for him. Decides he'd rather throw to a covered player and get a catch knockout. I think he definitely had that return route over the middle. So 2nd and 10 here. Now you got short side bunch, and you should flip here. Short side cluster. Now Drini's going to go to a man beating play because and see again, like to a degree that was like primarily a man beating play. Was able to work against zone. But one of the things that I've noticed a lot of these top level players will do is if you come out in man coverage the previous play, they'll just come out in a man beater the next play. And so you can really kind of play to that break tendency a little bit and, not be in man when they expect you to be in man, basically, especially with how good the shell feature is. Gucci more than likely on double mug is using that cover two shell feature to be able to disguise. So you're really not going to know if he's in man or zone for the most part. We got crosser. Throws that crosser in the middle field. And he's working down here to be able to get this. So as I said, clock management, a little bit of a factor here, 3 minutes. What you really don't want to do is give Gucci the ball back with a chance to go get 7 because the challenge now is it's going to be, Gucci's going to clock you out basically. So he's in a little bit of a clock management situation here. If ideally for Drini, he would actually get a first down and probably not score a touchdown to kind of help limit what he's going to be susceptible to. It goes to kind of a unique play out of this tray flex and throws a high ball to the tight end corner. Able to catch it in the back of the end zone. And he's going to be able to get a touchdown out of that. All right, so he's got 3-3 and 3-3 Cubs. So I think I think that means he is in the 46 playbook or the multiple playbook. I'm almost positive it's 46. No, he's got nickel over 3-3, 3-3 cub, auto flip on, not doing shells, and now he's going to come out in 3-3. More than likely just a shed defense here, I would think. But the sheds in this game are pretty good. Little 0-1 trap call for little quarterback run. I wonder how did he do that? Actually, I have no idea how he did that. Definitely a glitch. Gucci glitched Vic to run the ball. Oh, that's kind of crazy. A little quarterback dive action. I actually don't know how he did that. Maybe playmaker in the trap. That little point right there, that tells you something, but I don't know what it is. There he does it again. It's crazy. It's actually really good. Especially because he can do that out of motion Y or a Y off trio close too. That's a crazy run. Yeah, I have to get a practice and try to figure out how to do that. I would think like when he audibles to it, he does something. There's Fancy looking fresh, giving us some tips and tricks. Love that we're split screening him. Love it. Can't just hear him in the background. We got a split screen. So as you see here, Drini going to go to dollar in this situation. Drini's got a lot of different defenses, and the thing that's interesting is Drini is, I think, widely considered one of the best defensive players ever, and he's doing a lot of things, kind of a lot more versatile. Here, runs 0-1 trap and hands it off. So it's not just 0-1 trap; it's actually something Gucci's doing to the quarterback somehow, some way, which we don't not 100% sure of. Another thing here, though, Gucci's being very intentional about really boiling this clock down. He's actually getting it down pretty significantly. He actually has Jalen Hurts in the game, which is crazy, and that's why you saw the timeout there. I think. Yep, calls timeout, gets Vic right back in that game. Back to like the handoff animations, right? Because he was about to get a bad handoff animation with Jalen Hurts, but now Vic back in the game, he can either hand it off or do the glitch run. Really, this has been a very easy draft for Gucci. He has ran the ball every single play, pretty much. He's taken all the clock away. Drini's not been able to stop the run. Drini's not been able to stop the pass this game. Defensively, Drini's really struggled, at least so far, even though he's running kind of some more off-meta type defenses. Haven't really seen anything that screams that he's going to have success. So 1st and 10 here. Flips in a short side, high-low on the read with the corner. Nice little check down there to the drag route. And now you're starting to see some of the challenges here with these clock management scenarios, because now you're starting to see timeouts being taken. Now Gucci, to a degree, has to take his own timeouts and almost to a degree, like clocked himself out. Because now in this situation, he only has one timeout. Drini has all 3 timeouts, so Drini has a lot more flexibility with how he can actually handle this. The problem is Gucci's so far out here, he can't really use. I mean, he can use the whole field, but he kind of can't use. Like, he's kind of limited here, and he is going to see like that, and then a tackle right there. Now you have to call that timeout. So now, as you see, Gucci has no timeout. So it's kind of a significant little deal at the end of half here, where with clock management situation and scenario, to a degree, Gucci kind of clocks himself out. Even though he does have 24 seconds, the problem is he can't really, if he gets caught in bounds, he might only get like one more play. So there you go. Throws an end zone shot, gets a nice catch in traffic. Shout out to Madden 26 for that one, because Madden 26 has made it really hard to drop the ball if you get your hands on it, if you're a receiver. However, if you're a defensive back, unfortunately for you, your catching options are a little bit more limited. But that was a very big drive for Gucci. Now, 19 seconds here. Gucci's going to be setting up defenses as 20-yard curl flats. And he's going to jump into the dollar defense here in this situation. Drini going to be in that cluster. Here's the thing here. Drini, for the most part, trying to just get 3. If Drini gets 3, it's really significant in this game because he'll be able to get the ball to half, potentially be able to get ahead of the score as opposed to playing from behind the whole game. So this is a huge drive for Drini. Huge 19 seconds here. And Gucci's goal is to not give up 3, basically. And nice little catch knockout there. That's going to give a second down. We'll see what Drini decides to go with. Here's motion PA cross switch out of the Y off trio close. Slot fade. Crosser, not really there. Now here I would have scrambled. He decides he's not going to, and then he decides he is going to super late. To me, if he would have taken that scramble a little bit earlier, he might be able to get down and give himself a chance for at least one more dot to be able to get into field goal range. But here, this is basically a Hail Mary situation. He's too far out for a field goal, but at the same time, too little time to be able to actually move the ball down the field. So he's going to have to just chuck it up or just scramble out of there with Vic, and he is going to throw this to the end zone. That's crazy. He did get his big paws on it, but he was not able to catch it. And as I said, Drini gets ball at half here, so it's going to just get up there to 27. I haven't really seen a kick return yet so far this tournament. All right, so second half here for Drini and Gucci. And Drini ball here, going to roll out first play. And man, I'll tell you, this offense has not exactly looked smooth for Drini in this game. Everything's been kind of covered, to be honest. The rollout's definitely been kind of the thing that's really helped him so far. Let's take a look here. Going to Wob, trio close, stem down corner. And there's that crosser. It's been a lot of tight windows, but he has completed them. I will say that. It's been a lot of tight window throws, but that could just be Gucci's playing a pretty significant amount of man-to-man here. Nice little tendency breaker. He audibles into trips to the wide side, and he goes that play he scored the touchdown on. Throws that tight end corner again. This time, kind of keeps that corner lower and does a good job of being able to attack the tight end side coverage right there for Gucci. Now here, I love this one. This is the bubble, RPO bubble. Take a look at what Drini does here. He actually untargets. I think he untargets the safety. What you want to do when you run the bubble, in my opinion, is untarget one of these two players. But anyway, he untargets the guy, and then he gets better blocking on the RPO because of that. And it's a real easy, just quick hitter against the defense. Now he's going to go back to wide trips weak. Kind of picking up his pace with play calling here. There's a crosser. There's a streak. Going to go for the ag. Almost got a pick. Gucci is known to lose his mind. I can't remember what tournament he was playing. I don't know if it was 22. What it was. One of the tournament games, he actually broke a table because he just raged. I think a drop pick or controller something. And anyway, broke a controller. I think he broke a table. He's a little bit of a rager. Not going to lie. 4th and 6 here. He did get him on a 4th down. It's a huge down for Gucci. If he gets a stop here, it's big. So he's going to send 5 more than likely, or even 4, but trying to amp the pressure up a little bit. Kind of goes real aggressive with a switch stick, but Drini able to hit the Texas route out of the backfield. And kind of a big down here. So if we take a look at what actually happened, you're going to see, right, number one, Gucci doesn't actually send pressure. He actually bails out. This guy kind of crazily almost glitches through for pressure. But the other thing is he does not really play like man. It's pretty much cover 2-ish. And the running back just kind of gets into a soft spot and does a good job of being able to get out of there and bring up a red zone situation for Drini. Going to go wide trips weak inside zone and going to lose 5 yards. Unfortunate for him. Really interested to see what Drini's red zone offense is. Pretty much seems like it's this trips play. Look for that corner. There's that running back flat again. Goes about 2 yards. 3rd and goal. It's a huge down in this game. if Drini doesn't get this, it's kind of a decision. He is going to go to the bubble on 3rd and goal. This kind of tells you he's probably thinking, nope, he's going to check. And he's got oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And then he's going to scramble. I just got to see the result of this play. Is he going to score out of this? They're going to give him a touchdown? They are not. Okay. You got to check this with me. So this is what I'm talking about, Drini. So again, right, top level Madden player of all time. He checks to mesh late. Gucci's been running man coverage a lot. And in this instance, he's going to run basically like all out man coverage. He's on a safety, and he's actually going to probably shade underneath. What happens in this formation is this drag and this vertical, they kind of like perform a pick, and this flat can be wide open for an easy read. So as you see here, the pick is all, I mean, this is a walk-in. If you really look at this, this is a walk-in touchdown more than likely right here. But Drini just completely misses this because he's probably looking here by now. But I mean, look how wide open he is. Just completely missed his first read. Corner bag, drag bag, drag bag. You might throw that, but not really. And now Drini's pretty much trying to just wait for an opportunity to scramble. You see him kind of manage in the pocket. There he air trucks out, scrambles out. And honestly, this guy just, to a degree, like he saves a touchdown, but honestly, like he did not do his job. So that's going to bring up a 4th down and goal from the 1 yard line. More than likely, Drini's going to go for this. I could see him taking 3, but kind of the way this game has gone, it's been very, not even really close to getting a stop defensively. So he's probably definitely going to go for this. Another little factor that starts to come into the conversation is, of course, the clock. It's realistically, Drini might have maybe 2 more possessions after this. So this is a big down, big moment. See what he goes with. And it does look like for his bread, he is going to call inside zone from Y trips weak. And Gucci's going to shoot it, and Gucci's going to stop him. One of the big principles that I'm a big believer in, and you know, some Madden players, some people don't believe this way, but I've always been brought up, and I've always thought, you know, on a 4th down for the game, more than likely, unless you are giving me an obvious right, more than likely I'm not putting the ball up to chance for the running back. I want the ball. I want to be able to pass. I want to be able to control the outcome. So I feel like passing gives you a better chance at that. Running the ball, you can get shedded. You can get user gap shot. You can, I mean, a lot of things can go wrong running the ball. Whereas passing the ball, you give yourself more options, I would say. Give yourself 5 receiving options and a running option. So that's just my 2 cents on that. I would never run the ball on 4th and goal from the 2. Unless you, like, obviously gave me it and I would check to it. But I felt like Drini came out in a run, and then he audibled to a run. And to me, that's just not a great strategy, especially in this game. This game is, we thought last year was bad for running the ball. I feel like this is one of the worst running games ever, unless you're running this run with the quarterback. This run with the quarterback is crazy. I don't know how he's doing that. I would almost bet you money that he's audibling to the play and then immediately playmaker in the run to the other side, and that's giving it the ball to Vic. Good pressure from Drini there. Good shed. Was that at a Cub? Take a look at that. That was actually the first time all game we got good pressure. It is out of Cub. So he actually switches off his user, sends his middle linebacker pressure there. And he's just going to kind of get a shed, basically. Didn't look great. But he does get an intentional ground in a big situation, and it brings up a 3rd and 19. It's kind of a big down for Gucci, right? If you're able to put together a good drive, even if you're getting 3, you're going to put yourself in a really, really good spot to win this ball game. There's a stem down little fade. Notice he's in dollar. Drini's been in dollar majority of big downs in this game. Just sending the send for loop and loop blitz. And then what Drini's doing a lot is the cover 3 with the hook curl. He has used a lot of hook curl from the safety position, and he does it again here, and that's unfortunate. Take a look at this right here. I mean, this is double covered. He stays on it with his user. You would think this would be an interception. Gucci kind of just forces it in there, and fortunately for him, it's a drop, but Drini does get the stop. Now, this is where clock management is so vital to me. Gucci's going to punt the ball. Not necessarily a bad decision because Drini now gets the ball, but because of the clock, Drini is going to have to take time to score. So, it could be a minute, it could be 3 minutes, right? But regardless of that, if Drini does score, more than likely he's just going to be able to tie the game. He might be able to go up one. That puts Gucci in a position to clock the game out and kick a field goal and basically win the game. So we'll see if that's how it all plays out. Rollout play for Drini. That play has not been very successful. He's caught it 4 times. Haven't loved that one. Y off trio close. And he is going to go drag route, Texas route, out route, streak, crosser. So again, high-low in the middle of the field. Here's your high read. Here's your low read. Here's your alternate read. Right, 2 low points there. Tight end drag wide open, but Drini's scrambling out. Going to throw that crosser. Drini's a big fan of crossers this year, seems like. I mean, he has a crosser on almost every play that I've seen him call this game. And see, maybe that's because it's probably, and I would agree, one of the more consistent man-beating routes. There's that play again. Almost threw a pick again. He was actually throwing this. What's crazy. So he's getting screamed at. He throws this. Look, this is he's made a choice. Like, he throws this into double coverage. Meanwhile, the whole point of the play was to get that corner open. It's wide open. Throws the ball into the ground. Luckily, the pressure got there. Pressure doesn't get there. That's a pick. That's probably GG's. Honestly, because Gucci could run out of there. More than likely, could have even been a pick 6. So I didn't feel like that was the play. Kind of a unique route on the right side of the little slot fade, or not slot fade, a sluggo. And that's going to take us probably to the 4th. We'll see what Drini decides to do here. Nope, he's probably going to call one more play. Gets a cool route to the tight end. Stem down post, streak, wheel. In 4th quarter. There we go. That's going to take us to the 4th. 5 minutes of ball left here. Biggest thing is Drini, to me, kind of needs to score before like the 3-minute mark to kind of give it. Problem is, this was the big problem with how that all played out for him is, yes, that's a big score right there. That was a huge play. So like I said, Drini, I felt like needed to score faster. But he kind of goes that same play here. But, yeah, able to just hit the post to Bowers in the high read. Gucci's user got way out of position. That's one of the bad things of switch stick is oftentimes you'll user something that you should have defended through switch stick, or you'll switch stick something that you should have defended through usering. And there's that fine line between what do you switch stick, what do you user, and staying in position doing your job so that you don't switch stick yourself out of position to give up a play right there. Gucci's user was just out of position completely, and it left a wide open post in the middle of the field. So this is probably the biggest drive of Gucci's Madden career. I would think that's fair to say so far. At least one of the bigger drives that he's had. There's a lot of stakes in this game. Gucci's kind of not been like at that level, for a couple of years, and he's got an opportunity to be a probably top 5 player of all time, at least a top 10 player of all time. So we'll see what he's able to do. And Drini's going to Cub. Going to flip that Cub out. The user's really over that center too, by the way. So you see here again, a send 4. Notice no pressure, none. Not an ounce of pressure, really. All day in the pocket, having to throw it. He was able to go all the way back to the corner route and throw the corner out while the corner route standing on the sideline, just saying, please pass me the ball. Got way back. That's like read number 7 on the play. All right, going to go to Wild Trail Close Motion PA cross switch here. And you're going to get drag, table, crosser, corner. Kind of a unique play. But as you see, Gucci's making a decision to throw a drag right at a hard flat. And Drini's guy not able to play it. Did get it out of reach. You see Drini's facial expression. wants an animation right there. Felt like he played good enough defense. Now we're going to flip into short side bunch. Kind of a tendency breaker here. And able to hit that nice tight end drag. Another reason to do that is to get that tight end drag more space when you run that crossfield concept like that. And honestly, Gucci's putting on a really, really good drive. This has been a really, really pretty good drive from Gucci. Really, the only thing was throwing that tight end drag on the to the hard flat. But you're seeing here, Drini. To me, I get the impression watching this game. Here's post drag slant. I get the impression watching this game, one of the biggest differences between these two players so far is that it feels like Drini changes defenses every 5 seconds, whereas Gucci's been in the same defense the whole game. And I don't necessarily know which one's necessarily better. It just seems like Gucci or Drini is not really sure what defense he wants to be in. But I think he is the only. He's not. Is he the only one? I'm trying to remember. Did he get? I'm trying to remember who all got stops in this game. Now that I look at it, Drini punted the ball. No, he did not punt the ball. Gucci punted the ball, so Drini did get a stop. But I think Gucci got a stop as well. So I don't know. But anywho, all right. So here, first time all game, we've seen a stemmed up curl. Really haven't seen that a lot. But we got corner drag, stemmed up curl. Going to take that drag, turn it upfield here, gets off a tackle. And now here's your decision, right? 4th and 6. It all kind of comes down to this play, I feel like, so far. Biggest play of the game by far. Biggest decision of the game by far. Do you kick a 3? How this game has gone, it's basically Gucci saying, do I trust my defense to hold Dream to 3? Or do I trust my offense more to try to go for that touchdown, or at least just try to go for that first down? Gucci is going to trust his offense a little bit more. Drini is going to stay in that 3-3, kind of relying on a little bit of a shed here. And we get a drag. And he's got that drag is just free. And this is just, to me, a big mistake on Drini's part. Like, this is stuff you can't do. Like, take a look. This is a 4th and 6 play call. There's not a single on either side. Look at the first down marker. There's not a single defender. Not a single one. Look at how open. Every single person under 5 yards is wide open. There's not a hard flat on either side of the field. So then the question that you would ask is that on purpose? I can't think that that is on purpose. To me, Drini might have just thought like his zone jump for one thing and they were on another thing. That's kind of how I read that situation. But it very likely could have been that Drini wants to do this because now he's in a position where he's going to get ball and it's going to be last drive. So, I don't know what position he really wanted to be in there. To me, it just amazed me that he didn't have a single defender under 5 yards on the field on 4th and 5. So the flats were basically open on both sides. The underneath middle were open on both sides of the middle. Like the whole underneath the field was wide open. He basically played prevent defense on 4th and 5, which I've never seen in a game of this magnitude. These settings or this stage basically 3-4 odd. We're running back cross flat. This right here by far the meta trips combo. By the way, it's China post. It's got a cross, little slide route. You got a flat, you got an in route, you got a slant, and then your tight end coming across the middle. Basically, if they don't use her this running back route, really nice space it gets into over here. But for them to use her the running back route, they basically can't use her this backside route. And as you see, Gucci able to throw it, able to score. He's going to get that field goal, and he really executes right on the biggest drive, in my opinion, of his Madden career. Now the pressure shifts to Drini's side of the table. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. We'll see what he's able to do offensively. I will say, I feel like Drini to agree, but this is kind of always how Drini is in an MCS event. As long as I've been watching Drini, it's kind of like this. It's a little sloppy on both sides, but he's always there at the end. And so we'll see what he's able to do on this drive. As I said, he's going to audible around. It's not going to be like, it's going to be kind of but it's going to work. So we'll see what happens here. Gucci, like I said, I don't even think Gucci's actually gotten a stop. I think it's really just been the end of half scenario. I can't remember specifically, but I'm almost positive that Drini was the only one that got a stop in this game. Inside zone, and he's going to go to the crib right here. Now, here's the decision. Do you score or do you go down? Drini chooses to go down right there. Very easily could have scored. He chooses to go down. The reason being is because if he scores here, and let me just kind of show the situation. So you see, he's in the clear right here with 1:27 and 3 timeouts, but he's down 7. So Drini strategically goes down. The reason being is because if he scores with Barkley and he kicks field goal and it's 28-28, he then gives Gucci the ball with 3 timeouts and 1:27. So he chooses to go down. Primary purpose is so that he can take off more clock because he's going to try to take Gucci's timeouts. And more than likely what Drini's goal is going to be is to be able to score the football, score 7, maybe even go for 2, with Gucci not being able to answer back on the other side before the end of the fourth quarter, forcing an overtime situation or just getting the win himself if he goes for 2. So there you see there's that first down run. Pretty much everybody in the world knew that was going to be a first down run. Try to get the clock moving a little bit more. And you see here, Gucci's already starting to take those timeouts. Notice Gucci's bringing that safety out of the box, going to play real aggressive, and he's going to be able to hit that receiver, brings up a first and goal situation. And there's another timeout gone. So now you see Drini has done what he needed to do. He's going to take Gucci's timeouts, but he's going to probably, this is probably 2 straight quarterback sneaks. I can't think he doesn't run sneak here or fullback dive. So there's quarterback sneak number 1. That takes Gucci's next timeout. So now Gucci doesn't have any timeouts, but more than likely what's going to happen is he's going to do another quarterback sneak. Reason being is so that he can get this clock down to like 15 seconds. So there's a fullback dive. He does not want to score. He intentionally is getting stopped here. Now we have a 3rd and goal situation. So Drini has basically given himself a couple plays. He's going to run this all the way down. He might even take a timeout, honestly. Literally just run this clock all the way down. And the game basically probably in Drini's mind is going to end here. Either he's going to score and get 2 points or he's going to get stopped. That is probably the thought process, at least I would think. I don't see Drini going to overtime the way that this game has gone. I see Drini, trying to end it here. We'll see what he does. But this is going to be he's going to have 2 opportunities for a red zone score. We saw last time that I forgot the stop that Gucci did get. I did forget about it. It was that 4th down stop down here where Drini opted to run the ball on a 4th down. Here, Drini runs the ball on that 1st down, and he's going to just score it here. And so again, right, he ran the ball on 4th down. The last time he was down there, this time he runs the ball on 3rd down. Probably would have passed if it got stopped, but he's able to get that outside zone out of there. He's able to get a touchdown. And now here's the decision, right? Do you go for 2? And Drini opts to kick the field goal. Probably because he wasn't super confident, honestly, in his red zone, I would say. And another real reason why is because Gucci is known to make big mistakes in these games a little bit. There's a reason why there's a reason. And so I could see that. Maybe he's thinking if I prolong the game, Gucci might beat himself. Drini kind of maybe trusts in his experience a little bit, his ability to kind of, the longer the game goes, generally the better player wins. But Drini's not looked good at all, I would say, to his standard. Now, that being said, like I said, it normally does look kind of messy. It doesn't always look crystal clean, and somehow he's always there, right? He's always there. He's always in live events. He's always winning tournaments. Here he wins the toss. He's going to kick this off. If you guys want to know the overtime strategy, if you win the toss in overtime, you want to kick the ball. This is so that you know what you need to do, right? You're going to kick the ball to Gucci. If Gucci scores a touchdown, then you know that you're going to go down, score a touchdown, and probably go for 2. If Gucci gets the ball and he goes and scores a field goal, then you know you're going to try to score a touchdown. But if you need to set up for 3, it's not the end of the world. And then obviously if you get a stop, then all you need is a field goal. So we'll see what he ends up going with here. 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. And it's going to be another big drive, big opportunity here for Gucci. We'll see what he ends up going to. Drini goes back to dime in this situation. Slot corner's going every which way here. Smash return. I think this has got to be Gucci, one of Gucci's favorite plays. One of the other things I've noticed, there's a nice little catch knockout from Drini. One of the other things you notice about Gucci watching him play, he is fairly like, I'm gonna run my money plays, right? Like he's gonna stick to his couple plays. And they're normally 5-out plays, and they're normally like smash return, or that cross concept with spacing switch, and then potentially corner. But we'll take a look here, see what the combos are for Gucci. Here's that corner route play, motion cross post. Love this play. I actually love this play. And the reason being is because this slide route is so good, it's also going to serve as a flat route. Then you have a high read, which is going to be your corner. You have a clear out streak or a clear out slot fade. I think it's a streak here. And then you have a backside high-low between your in or your return route and your post. So you see here streak to corner to this slide route. And then you see the user is going to have to stand in the middle with this high-low. So you see there it is. And it's a great read from Gucci. He also would have had maybe that in route late. But it's a great read from Gucci there. Able to hit the ball. Able to hit the back out of the backfield, and in the back able to take the ball up for a couple yards there. 3rd and 5 situation. Fairly good play call. And again, just notice how Gucci's going to be, like I said, to a degree, fairly consistent with the plays that he's going to rely upon. He's going to kind of stick to the plays that he's mastered in these situations. So here's a flip into motion cross post. There's that stem down again. It's the exact same play call. Exact same play call here. There's the flat. Notice the switch right there, right? Backside return route and the scramble potential, right? Because Drini's not able to keep contained, Vic's able to just get free yards. In this game, you don't really fumble with your quarterback. So if you're able to get out of the pocket consistently, they're relatively free yards. And you see there Gucci in a 3rd and 5 situation able to take advantage of that. Here we haven't really seen this play all game, but it's a kind of a cool play. And let me show you the combo. It's actually kind of cool. It's a spacing switch play. So again, you have, let's see if I can actually show you right here. So let's see. Okay, so we have a tight end wheel that's then going to wheel up like a streak. And then on the left side, you have that quick table. You have a slot receiver on a drag, and then you have a return. So it's slightly different than the smash return. The main thing is you're adding a flat on both sides of the field, and then late that wheel route will turn up field. So you see the flat does a good job of opening up this throwing lane right here wide open. It's super open. And you see Gucci does a good job hitting that route to T. Higgins. And what, honestly, if you really look at Gucci's play calls this drive, it's really very much so like, I'm going to try to just hit these consistent underneath throws to just work my way, work my way down the field, not trying to go for anything too crazy, too big. There's that return route play again. Wow, Joe Close loves this combo right here. Running back could be on a flat. In this case, he's going to block him. And you see Drini does send 5, but because of that, you see this is kind of a broken play. Nothing super open. Good switch stick there. I don't know if he could playmaker that. He might be too far off the ball. So he's just going to have to rely upon his scramble ability. And then he almost playmakered him open there. Almost got kind of a broken play at the end. But that's going to bring up a 2nd down situation for Gucci. Going to flip into the motion corner under with that stemmed up in route again this time. Kind of staying with that setup. And he's going to work that high-low, looks for that corner there. Nice read to the running back. Kind of gets in that little soft pocket between the spot on the field that Gucci wants to throw the ball is that little pocket where the bunch receivers are. That little like vert hook area of the field is really the main spot that it seems like he consistently wants to try to put the ball in play. You'll see right here, I'll show you. So if you think about most of his plays, it's a return route right here. It's a running back in route right here, right? It's a drag right here. Like this little like section, really important in Gucci's offense. Here, Drini goes to 3 parade, trying to force the issue a little bit, play a little bit more aggressive. He goes cover 0, does a good job of playing good man coverage, but the man coverage does not get the job done to get the knockout. And Gucci's able to just, basically easily complete it against man coverage there. Going to stay in short side here. It goes to that slot fade combination. And there it is. That slot fade is going to be wide open. He actually messed up here, at least in my opinion. He goes to this flat read a little too quick. Take a look at what happens here on the play. You see this route, this whole purpose of this play, it's a streak, it's a slot fade, and it's a return route. And what happens, we back that up real quick here. So it's a first down play call. We back that up one more time. Sorry about that. So you see the slot fade. So you see here the cloud flat. Cloud flat's dropping back, but you see it's covered too. This slot fade is going to be open over the top. Gucci gets to this just a little quick before this cloud fully bit on it, and he's able to basically midpoint it. Gucci does a good job of, basically spinning out of that, getting up for a couple of yards, but right, could have been a big play, kind of sped up a little bit primarily. So could have been just because of the 3-4 odd pressure as well. 3-4 odd pressure up the middle. He goes back to that same combo. I think he knows he missed it. And then here, this time, as you see, Drini puts this guy in the third, and now this is wide open. So it's kind of a good back and forth there. And you're going to see that he's able to complete that running back for a lot more yardage this time. And he's able to get upfield in that situation. Ball on the 30-yard line in overtime here. Little flip. Going to go to this motion cross post again. Kind of sitting with this consistently. Love this combo right here. It's a drag, a streak on the backside of this. And then he's got the slide route as like that flat. Again, where does that open up? It opens up this little pocket right here really, really well. So as you see, heavy pressure this time from Drini. He's actually able to get that pressure to come in. And Gucci going to do a good job of hitting the drag, but honestly didn't get it out of his hands quick enough, but did prevent the sack. Got a little bit of a throw out a sack, just batted down ball. And that's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 on the 30. Looks like he's going to go to the in route, smash return type of play, and takes that tight end, quick out, quick corner. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 7. A lot of tendency breaker, a lot of short side bunch on this specific drive. I would think it's because short side bunch is going to do a better job against cover 2, and he's in 3-4 odd. A lot of times people send 6 out of cover 2 and 3-4 odd, so that might be part of that. Here hits that return route really well. But I'll tell you, man, if you have, and he actually was running this back in Madden 23, the same exact concept. Gucci runs a ton of smash return, and I call it the cross concept, where you have the crosser, the drag, and then the little return route. He runs that play a lot. That is one of his main plays that he is going to consistently run. Here we go, 4th and 2, biggest down of the ball game here. He's going to choose to run it, and guess what? He's going to run that smash return. He's got the flat. He's got the tight end slant. He's up there breaking tackles. Got the bejesus knocked out of him. But Kyle Pitts able to move the chains. It's going to bring him a red zone situation for Gucci, and we'll see what he goes to. Probably going to be that trip side in. He is going to flip into the trips. Hit that QB zone on the left-hand side. Drini kind of stays in this dime normal. I will say the dime normal is actually one of the most underrated run defenses in the game because of those slot corners' depths and how they're going to be horizontal. They're going to do a much better job of kind of defending that outside run. Now, Drini going to go back into his red zone defense. This 3-4 odd seems to be kind of the main defense he wants to go to. And take a look at that. You saw that spacing switch flat route, able to pop the man coverage on the left-hand side. That's going to bring up a 3rd and goal from the 4. And we'll see what is going to happen here. It's going to go to the trips, I think. Trips, Trey Y flex here. Oh, this little angle route from the running back. This is a great play. So what Fancy ran. Watch how deep this angle route goes. It's actually an amazing route, but Drini gets a stop. Take a look at this route, by the way. Watch. So you see this? So like a standard angle route would cut like right there. This angle route, it gets so widened out. So you see how it's like super, like that's the yellow zone. It's never going to play it. That's the flat zone, never going to play it. And there's this little area right here, wide open, but gets the pressure. That's going to bring up a 4th and goal. Kind of a decision, honestly, here. Kind of a big decision. I think Gucci ultimately has to take his 3. It's so hard to score down here in this situation. He has to kind of trust his defense. It does put Drini in the driver's seat. It puts Drini in a great position because if Drini can just get down the field, he can opt to try to go all out and try to score 7, or he can settle for 3. And so a lot of pressure now shifts to Gucci. And, Drini was able to a degree, do what he wanted to do defensively there, even though he wasn't able to really, even though Gucci kind of moved down the field well, when he got in the red zone, he was not able to convert. And so Drini was able to get that hold to 3. So we'll see here what Drini ends up doing. Offensively, going to stay in the cluster. Gucci, here's a little defense adjustments for you. There's the hard flat. And starts out with just a basic run, able to juke out of there, able to stiff arm out of there almost. And he's going to be able to get kind of a relatively free first down early on. Audible out here to the wide trips. And a good run to Barkley. Going to get upfield. And he loves this C route play on the left side. Wide trips for Drini. With flat route, C route. I guess that's why. I guess the flat route beats man. So that flat route just destroyed man coverage. Got out there super quick. We'll see what's happening here. So Drini is already to a degree in field goal range. Probably gonna run the ball here, try to just confirm a field goal, and then kind of go from there and see what he ends up deciding to do. He is going to go back to corner strike. There's that quick flat route, able to throw that to the outside, and going to be able to get up there for 5 yards to the sideline. All right, 2nd and 5 here for Drini. And yeah, like I said, outside zone. Primary reason why here, you just want to make sure you get 3, get yourself in a good position, that if you need to set up for 3 or if you want to have that option. So he goes to that outside zone there. Again, notice he runs that into the short side. Why does he do that? Because he gets a faster handoff animation because of because Michael Vick's left-handed. So running from left to right is always going to be better than right to left. But here, Gucci lurks him, and he falls down, and he is going to end it. Let's take a look here real quick at what actually happens on this play. One of the things Drini has fallen in love with all game long is these quick flat routes from these cluster and trips formations. Here he goes to that right here. Notice what Gucci does. He's actually not even on the guy. Notice he switch sticks to this guy, and he just goes all out for the flat. I mean, he just sells out for that flat route. He guesses right in a big moment where it was really looking like Drini had all the advantage, and out of nowhere, Gucci just gets the stop, and he gets the W. It's a huge play for Gucci, and it's a great win for him against one of the best Madden players of all time. I want to thank you for watching this video, and if you want to take your Madden or college football game to the next level, join our school membership today. It's only $10. It gets you access to literally every single thing that I know about Madden and college football, and if you want to sign up for that, that link is in the description down below.